Right. So today then, it's a little bit colder, so thought we'd do something nice and hearty and warming and filling. We're going to do a nice chunky vegetable cottage pie. Now, it has been inspired by a Jamie Oliver recipe, because what we're trying to do is get some meals that are quick and easy to prepare, but really nutritional. It's not completely his recipe because there's some ingredients that he uses that I just don't have and I can't afford. So we've kind of tried to do our own version, if you like. I don't know. But anyway, we'll get to that later. As you can see, I've got all the vegetables prepped here already. And I just want to point out that this, that, those, and the potatoes I've got here, and these, actually, stock cubes, all came from Food Share. These lentils here, they're actually dated November 2020, and I did actually get them off a shelf. But yeah, this was all donated. This is from Food Share. All that would have gone in landfill. It's only these two things that I've actually bought today for this recipe. So keep that in mind, you know, like you can pretty much get the ingredients, base ingredients for a family meal. Oh, and also the cabbage that I'm going to have on the side, that came from Food Share too. So it really is worth coming, is what I'm saying. And like I say, all this perfectly good, edible, nutritious food would have just gone in landfill. What a shame. Okay, the other thing that I want to say today is please keep watching, because we're going to make a really exciting announcement. Well, we think it's exciting. Partway through the video, so keep watching for that. Without further ado then, let's get cooking. So first step then, we're going to heat our oil and we're going to infuse it with our fresh herbs that we got from Food Share. I've got 2 pans on here. I've got one boiling my potatoes, so that's just taking care of itself while we do the other stuff, the good stuff. I'm going to heat my oil to shimmering, which it is, and then I'm just going to chuck some rosemary in there. Smells good. So we're doing this to infuse the oil with flavour. And also we're going to take this rosemary out and we're going to use it at the end just to garnish our mashed potato. So that's quite exciting. Smells good. Just give that a little fry. Stick a bay leaf in that I got from the Food Share too. Thank you, who's ever donated our fresh herbs. Makes such a difference. Really, really good. Lovely. So that's nice and aromatic now. So I'm just going to turn off the heat and scoop that out. Okay, I've got most of that out now. So the first thing that we're going to put in is our lovely chopped carrots. You can see they're not like all perfectly cubed, they're just roughly chopped, making our job a lot easier. So I'll just put the heat back on. I'm going to saute those for a few minutes. Just get them started to soften them up. And we want them to start taking on all the flavour from that rosemary infused oil. So that's what's happening now. Just give that a couple of minutes. Okay, so these have been sauteing for a couple of minutes now. They're starting to change colour just around the edges. I'm going to go in with our half a Swede, and again, just roughly chopped. We want the vegetables to be nice and chunky because it makes it feel more substantial when you're eating it. We're not eating baby food, are we? So we don't want it chopped up too fine. I think it's especially important when you're doing a vegetable plant-based meal. Like you want that, you want all the different textures, you want the different flavours, you want things to be nicely layered. So, yeah, nice rough chopped vegetables. It's the order of the day. And I'm just going to do the same now, just saute them a bit so that they just start to cook and they're taking on all that lovely infused oil. So, a couple of minutes, and we're going to put our celeriac in. Celeriac, if you've never tried it, it's really, really tasty. You can make lovely soup with celeriac. But we're going to use it in our cottage pie. It's like a mild celery kind of, but a bit more earthier than that. Try it. If you've never tried it, have a go. I got this one from Lidl's. It's just over £1 for a kilo. So it's, you know, fairly reasonable price. And we're only using half of it. So if you're thinking about how far you can stretch your money, it's a fairly good vegetable to buy. I think the Swede is about 60p, and again, I'm only using half of it. So, like, that's the kind of figures we're talking about, you know. It's not an expensive meal, and if you can get most of it from Food Share, like we have, even better. You can see where it's taken on all that lovely oil. Obviously it changes the colour slightly, and you'll know you're on the right track then. Lastly, our 2 washed leeks. Look at that. And the colours are just lovely as well, aren't they? I mean, it looks lovely and light and spring freshy because of the different colours. But it would be really lovely and make you feel full. My friend says she likes food that sticks to her ribs. I think that's a great phrase. Okay, so while that's cooking down a little bit, I want to talk to you about the gravy. So hopefully some of our vegetables will start sort of sticking and caramelising on the bottom of our pan. And that's good because we want all that intense flavour. And we're going to lift that with our gravy. Now, in Jamie Oliver's video, he uses dried porcini mushrooms. I haven't got those. I haven't got any dried mushrooms. I was thinking maybe if I could get hold of some chestnut mushrooms, I might dehydrate them and have a go with those. If any of you try that, please let me know how it works out, because I think they'd probably be a good, cheaper substitute. However, I haven't got them and I didn't have the money to buy any. So what I have done is taken 2 stock cubes, just Knorr stock cubes, 1 rounded tablespoonful of tomato puree, 1/4 teaspoon of mustard. I've just kind of like made this up really, and 1/2 teaspoon of Marmite, just to make it a darker colour. Now I'm hoping that that will be a nice enough vegan gravy, because I thought it'd be nice to make this without any kind of meat in it at all. Obviously, if you are a meat eater and you want to try this, that's really good, but use your own gravy, whichever gravy you prefer. If you are a vegan and you've got your own preferred gravy, please use it. We just basically need some gravy, some liquor in here to help cook that down. And this was just something that I thought up this morning. If you've got a really good gravy, a vegan gravy that you want to pass on, please share it with us, because we love sharing. So you see in the description, I will give you what has been recommended to use as the gravy. Oh yeah, there's a small red onion in there as well. But I'll also give you the list of what I did. Okay, so you can try either or. Now, I want to do, it smells so good. What I'm going to do now then is pour my gravy in, and then that can get cooking. And then we can talk about our lovely competition. I've only got 600 millilitres of water in here. And if I need more, I'm just going to top it up with the plain water. Ooh. Yum. So this is now lifting all our nice little bits that are stuck to the bottom of the pan. And you can see that's almost just enough liquor for this. I'm also going to put my lentils in at this point. It's going to be so filling. Just a tiny little drop more. There we go. So we're just going to let that cook now for about 10-15 minutes until those vegetables are lovely and soft. Our potatoes are nearly done, nearly up to the boil. And get those mashed down in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, a couple more minutes on those. Now when that's been cooking a little while, I'm going to check the seasoning. Because I've used stock cubes, I don't like to put salt in too soon. You know, because you never know how salty they're going to turn out. So I'll just let that kind of all cook up together just a little bit, and then we'll taste it, and then we'll season it. Okay, then to our announcement. So what we thought we'd like to do in the, because we like sharing, food share, Kevrana, which means to share, where we share our skills with each other. We want you to share something with us. So we're asking all our food share friends if you would like to share with us one of your favourite family recipes. Now the criteria for this recipe would be that it takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes to cook, because obviously none of us have got loads of time. We also want it to be affordable, because none of us have got loads of money to throw away. And we want it to be something that your family enjoys eating, because then obviously we will too. So if you'd like to do that for us, if you'd like to share your favourite family recipe with us, what we would like to do in return is to give the person that we pick out a joint of beef. So if you yourself don't eat meat, but you get chosen, you can always pass it on to someone, share it with someone else. We'd like you to do that. But yeah, like that's basically what we're doing this week. We'd like you to send us your recipe. We'll randomly pick somebody on Thursday, and then you can come and pick the meat up from the collection at the rugby club. Yeah, and then we're going to cook it the next week. So if that sounds good to you, please leave your recipe in the comments below. Tag a friend who you think might like to join in, might like to share a recipe with us, and let's see what happens. All right, let's go back to the magic pot. Now, this is all lovely and soft now. It's lovely and hot. I love Swede. I checked the seasoning, adjusted it, mashed my potato. You didn't need to see me mashing potato, do you? I'm just going to lay it on the top now. Now, because everything's so hot, we don't need to cook it in the oven, but it's nice to pop it in the oven to get some nice crunchy bits on top of your mash. Or you can just stick it on your grill, because that's all you're doing. You're not really cooking it anymore. You've done all that. Now, if you want to dot that with butter, feel free. If you want to put some grated cheese on it, I don't think that will hurt. We're just going to put our caramelised rosemary on there for some flavour. And I did put a bit of butter in my mash. It's like a tongue twister. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this under the grill now. I'm not going to bother putting on the oven just to do the mash. So I'm going to stick it under the grill for a couple of minutes. Done. This is the first time I've cooked it, by the way. And I forgot the cumin. But I'm sure it'll be all right. So, like I said, I'm going to have this with a side of Savoy cabbage, because we've got lots of cabbage at the moment. It's nice to have some leafy greens. Right, let's have a look down here. Look at the colours. It's amazing. It's so nice. The more colour you have in your meal, the more vitamins and minerals that you're going to get in there. More variety of them. So please put as much colour in your food as possible. It smells delicious. Let's have a good taste. Let's get some nicer mash. Only doing this because I've not tried it before, so I can't tell you if it's nice or not. It's really good. I'd really like to try it with the mushrooms one time though, just to see what that's all about. Vegan gravy. But for now, this will do quite nicely, thank you. See you next week.